Be careful
Right.
with the message of non-duality because you may find yourself in the tiger's mouth. Yeah. And if you do, there's no reverse there. You can play with the gears, but there's no reverse. Yeah. I don't even know how it started. I remember I went to see this lady in Berkeley, in the park. She was from Eastern Europe, Neelam, very nice lady. I've run into her not for a long time now, but and she was the first time I ever heard non-duality. It was hard to hear her. She spoke very softly, and there was too much noise, but you didn't really need to hear it. It was an energetic thing, as they say. There was something going on, and then luckily the next week they moved into a house in Berkeley so you could hear her better, and I went there, and then that's all she wrote. Just one thing led to another, and then you heard stuff, and then I was introduced to a book by this guy Ramesh Balsekar called Who Cares? He's passed away now, but it stopped my head in the tracks many times. Yeah. You would just have to put the book down and just rescrew your head in because it would it would pop out in a strange way. And then I was so moved by that, I went to India by myself to see him. And I figured I might as well go to the godfather of all non-duality, Ramana Maharshi's place in Tiruvannamalai. It was a very interesting event because I heard there was all these satsangs there in January, I think, starting or December, and they've got this whole Western enclave in this Indian village. It's bigger than a village; it's a city, but not a huge one. And and I was so proud of myself. I went to the Ramana Maharshi ashram, and I asked if I could stay there. Yeah. And then I got a surprise. They asked me, "Are you going to go to these outside satsangs?" And I said very proudly, "Yes." And they said, "You can't stay here." So it was a little strange because a lot of these people had his picture at their talks, but the Ramana Maharshi ashram didn't want anyone to have anything to do with it. Strange, eh? So I found another. There was plenty of rooms around. I found another one and I saw a couple of people. There was a lot of people giving satsang there. I saw a couple that I liked and there it went. It just went off from there. That's when I realized I was never going to ask a question because it was so obvious that which was asking the questions. Yeah, that why would I want to feed a ghost? It's just insane. So, and that actually has proven to be true after all these years. So uh, you've heard the message. So basically, then in a way, the message has heard you, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. And if it works its magic, you'll lose interest in what you're not. And instead of trying to gain interest in what you are, you'll find out that you're interested. Yeah. Things will be discovered. You won't have a foretelling of it conceptually. Those will drop and things will be discovered. Yeah. And whatever path that you thought it will be redone. And how you thought was going to go, it doesn't go that way usually. So who would have thought that a loss of interest would be a key? Yeah. And this is why I humbly believe, because there's a lot of people that give satsang. I think they are. But what I thought was missing was there was no warnings about how the head would react to the hearing of satsang. Yeah. As the hearer of satsang. I didn't feel it was emphasized, and something in that came in me told me if you don't see it, that activity of claiming of the self, then you're looking from it, yeah. And if you're looking from it, it's difficult to see it, yeah. So it's sort of like tapping on a shoulder. It's not a giant, you don't dump a heavy load on anyone. You're just tapping on the shoulder and saying, like this movie Moon. I've always recommended it with this guy Sam Rockwell in there. Well, the movie Moon, I may have changed it for my own devices, but how I understood it was it was a little bit after our now here, and they had discovered that they've discovered natural resources on the moon that drove all the technology of Earth. Yeah. So now they had these giant harvesters and sort of farms on the moon gathering these minerals to ship to the Earth. And you only needed like one person. It was all run by machines and stuff. And in this one, the guy, the character was a guy from Boston, like the Boston Red Sox, had a wife and two kids, and he had only 5 more days left on this job. Yeah. So he'd been there for 5 years and he was coming up to where he was going to go back to Earth and he made a lot of money and everything like that. Yep. But he was alone the whole time. So what happened is there's a little bit of a accident in one of like the barns where the minerals are put. And he has to get out of the station and take this all-terrain vehicle over to it, and he sees someone else in a suit, and they look like they're out, like they're dead or something. Never saw this before, so he puts it in the machine and he drives it back. He brings it in, and when he takes the helmet out, it's him in a sense. It looks just like him. And then it gets revived and it sees him, yeah. But the one that was out cold is a little more in the know than the one that picked him up. And so he starts trying to break the news to him. He says, "How many more days left do you have on uh, this contract?" And before the guy could say, he said 5 days, right? And he goes, "Yeah, how do you know that? And where are you from? Boston? And you like the Red Sox and you have a wife and two kids and she has a tattoo on her left cheek or something like that." And now the guy's going, "What the fuck?" The guy that's the character, the main character. And then he's trying to break the news to him that they're both clones, yes? That he's never going back to Earth because he was never really in Earth. He doesn't have a family or kid. They were just programmed radio talks, yeah? And he's not from Boston. And go Yankees, yeah? So forget the Red Sox. Now, this is the key to this example. So here it is, and he's got a lot of evidence, but there's also the system itself is defending itself from the evidence because he feels like he's a person. But this is the programming, yes? So it's not a he that is a person feels like it's a person. It's a clone programmed feels like it's a person. And it's just not getting through. So the guy goes, "Hey," he takes him down to an opening, and there's a ladder going down underneath the ship, and he goes in there, and there's like 5,000 of them, the same face, everything, and he realizes he's starting to get it that, but the dilemma is the message that he's a clone, which is obvious, it has tons of information to back it up, isn't getting through because he's hearing it as a human. Yeah. So the human programming is hearing that it's a clone. The only way it can hear it is as the human programming. Yeah. Now, the last thing the human programming has that it would want to be is a clone. Yeah. So there's a built-in denial no matter what, that it's a clone, because it would be a real seeming downgrade to being human. Yeah. All this is mechanical the whole time. The other dude has it, he has it. Yes. Yes. And this is what I felt, was what I sensed when I went to hear the message delivered. I sensed that there was an activity without us knowing it that had us, yeah, being, let's say, had us thinking we were a sheep hearing the message that we were a lion or are a lion, yeah? And that the belief or the programming that you're a sheep would override the message that you're a lion. And it would translate it into, I can become like a lion as a sheep. Yes? It's sort of still seemingly getting a message, but it's totally corrupted in a way. Yeah? Yeah. So this is the program. So, and what's the first reaction to the message isn't you, what you are, it's what you're not in time. In time, the first reaction, I humbly believe, is of what you're not. Yeah. Now, the great news is we are not of time. Yeah. What we are didn't have a day when it started and doesn't have a day when it's ending. Yeah. It has a condition that our program condition cannot comprehend, not understand, not get, not figure out. Yeah. Which is beautiful, because if we could figure it out, we'd fuck it up, probably, the program. Yeah, it would make it into something. Yeah. So now it's made us seemingly into something, but it would have an impossible task to try to make that into something. So, all right. So in time, I start every day from a manufactured reference point. Yeah. So when the race starts in time, that's the big, I start a little bit later, and more shit happened before without us knowing it, without me knowing it right now. Yeah. So I start with a huge handicap. Yeah. Yeah. But all the while, inherently, we are not of time, and inherently, we are not of thingness or whatever. We are of, I don't know, let's call it awareness. Yes. And that awareness, representing the realness of you, can see that manufacturing of the sheep overriding the fact that you're a lion. Yeah, it can see it because it's before time. So when you feel an aha, that aha may be felt in a moment, but it's not of the moment. It's that aha is the memory or whatever of a bell that constantly rings. Yeah. And then it gets rung, and then that one ring triggers that sense of it constantly rings. So it's like an aha. People have it, and it changes their whole life, literally. Sometimes it goes a weird way for a while, which is they seek quite a lot, but it does have an incredible impact, change. Some people, their head will claim it and make it insane, where they're watching 14 hours, not feeding their kids and shit like that, because they have this incredible drive to get it, which is one way beautiful, because that which is involved with that is not you. Yeah. So it would be super obvious if you had the right understanding that me sitting for 14 hours trying to get something that I already am would be insane. And what would pursue that must not be me. Yeah. It would just be the most simple logic. Yeah. When you're told that you and I are reality, and then there's a sense of that being true, you now have eyes to see the insanity of that head that's using what you are to look for what you are. I mean, it'll stick out like a sore thumb. It will. Before it seemed integrated, it came blah, blah, blah. It's going to stick out like a sore, because being ourselves reality, the last thing we would be looking for is reality. Yeah. Yet, for a lot of people, the first thing we're looking for is reality. Now, either Ramana was wrong, or that which is looking for a reality is not reality. Yes. It's an appearance in this dreamscape. It's almost like smoke being out. Yeah. We look at it and we see forms in it that aren't there. Yeah. So this movement, I feel, because you watch people practice mindfulness. That's insane to me. It's just completely insane. Yeah. It's completely insane. And it always gets stumped because something will cause a knee-jerk reaction that as what they're not, they are always revealed as not being prepared. So there's going to be a moment in your mindfulness where you're not mindful. And to negate the whole thing, it may just take one move. Yeah. So everything seems to be going well. Oh, that motherfucker took my space. Oh, yeah. Oh, oops. Let's sign up for the next longer retreat. I got to stay in a controlled environment longer with the hope I can extend its fake life for more than a couple hours after I leave the retreat. Yeah. Do you remember? I, and I have no problem with all this. I don't. I would just like you to have an understanding, yeah, of the pitfalls of certain things because I fell down them and I've watched tons of people fall down them. Yeah. And some people made a home in there. Yeah. So I went to, I live in a very rich area, Marin County in America. Yeah. So we have this Buddhist thing, and jokingly, we used to call it the upper middle way because it's very nice, very great food. And I did a retreat there. And this retreat was pretty cool because people could come in anytime and they could do longer one or shorter ones. Yeah. So the people that were there, I may not have started with them. Yeah. So there I was. Basically, usually what happens, 13 hours of meditation. You can break it up like 7 hours walking where you could do Tai Chi or whatever, and 6 hours sitting because the sitting gets excruciating. Yes, it does. The first day I walked in there, the Zendo or the meditation hall was so pristine. And it's a beautiful, it's like one of the most perfect uh, the, theatrical settings, Like the design, the production is beautiful. There's like a little square like cushion and then a round bigger one on it. Yeah. And there's distances between each little set. And usually it's a beautiful laminated floor and there's light coming and it's beautiful. It's artistic, it's very beautiful. Yeah. And it's supposed to be conducive to and it's very sparse and spare. Then the retreat starts. After a few days, I don't know how the people do it, but they get a lot more pillows than what they were given. And now there's like little buildings that are constantly trying to lift one cheek up from the other or whatever. There's a chronic pain going on. And then some people, after the fourth and fifth day, just give up the ghost. They lay down. They go on the sidelines. They just lay down. And then you're thinking you're superior because you're still sitting, but they're snoring and everything. It's great. So I did this thing a couple of weeks because I was proficient at it. I'd done some in Thailand and I could sit a long time. And this was easy. They had 3 meals a day. The ones in Thailand was a soupy little thing in the morning. I lost a pound a day on a 21 day thing. I lost 21 pounds. I couldn't afford that. And I was tripping my brains out from lack of nutrition, nutrition and sitting up for so long. But here I was getting great food and stuff. And there's two things I like to use as examples. This one day, around the 11th day I was there, And a lot of people was doing the walking meditation, yes, and they were walking slowly and mindfully. Yeah, there used to be a way: lift the heel up, move it, drop it. Yeah, you could follow it. And everyone was grazing very peacefully on these hills. And then the bell rang for dinner. And I was right near the dinner place, so I got in there first. And lo and behold, what did they have out that night? They had ice cream out, yeah, on the buffet line. My eyes, I lost all kinds of serenity immediately. I saw the ice cream and my head started to work. Should I get the ice cream now and then hide it, put it where I'm going to, yeah, or should I trust that there's going to be enough ice cream? So I went with the get the ice cream now. And there I was. So I watched everyone come into the room. And, they were coming in very, very, whatever you want to call it. And as soon as their eyes fell upon the ice cream, the retreat was over, basically. The desire kicked in, everything. And you could see their little gears were running and they're getting the ice cream first. Forget the food. I'm just going to eat ice cream like that. So after a period of time, I was ready to go. I had told them I'd be there for like 2 weeks, and I would meet someone every morning, like a person, and tell them how the thing was going. So the last day, I met more than one person, and I was leaving, and they started asking me questions. They go, "Do you have your car here?" And I said, "Yeah, the car is in the parking lot." And they go, "How do you get home? Do you take the freeway?" "Don't take the freeway." Yeah. I said, "Well, why? Don't. It'll upset this fragile condition you're in right now, like 1,000-year-old Chinese ceramic." And they go, "What kind of music you like?" And I said, "Oh, no, don't, no heavy rock, no metal music." And I'm going, "What the hell am I leaving with? I mean, this thing could break at any second." Yeah, this made a big impression on me. Yeah. Do I want something that fragile that it wouldn't stand a chance to stay whole in this world? Of course not. Yes, I want an all-terrain vehicle. I want to be able to travel later, whatever's going on. Yeah, yeah. So there you go, that part. Uh, so our point really is to just share the warnings of what happens when someone like us hears the message of non-duality. And how easy it can be co-opted to the point you will be going to great lengths to be a non-self as a self. Yeah. It can go that crazy. It can. And so this is about futility. It's not about arrival. It's not about gaining. It's not about getting it. It's about the impossibility of you getting it. Yeah. It's futility. It's the great success is the failure of the seeking. Yeah. And when the seeking is questioned, you'll see the emperor, the seeker, with no clothes on. I hope. I hope. I hope these glasses of satsang will help you when that event occurs. And it's not going to be like, oh, I want to have that event occur again. It's going to lead to an understanding no matter how much clothes the emperor is wearing, the emperor has no clothes. Now, that is an all terrain understanding. Yes? That doesn't have to be put in a special glass thing and protected from any kind of influence from the outside. Yeah, it's very, 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 very dog shit awareness, functional. Yes, yeah. So I heard it. I saw the activity of the head. I saw the activity of the head is process, and processes are of time. And the idea that we are not of time gave me an incredible inspiration because I'm never going to get it because I am it. Yeah. That never came to me when I was never getting it. It would just hit me. I'd be frustrated. And then I'd say, the only answer is more. I've got to I'm going to go to Burma because they're the best Vipassana. I'm going to go there. I'm going to do more. Yeah, that's the only idea I could get by the failure of the seeking. Do more seeking, change vehicles, get different. Yes, but never. Why not see look at the seeker? Yes, yes. So the seeker in a one life of spirituality can have a lot of sorts, yeah, and there's going to be a lot of seeking. So the seeker will stay the same, the verbing of seeking will stay the same, and what sort may change. Yes, maybe you want kundalini or kriyas, maybe you want whatever, but everything that goes on will reinforce the idea of the seeker through the seeking. Yeah, now if you hear this message and there's a sense of futility of another day of looking for what you already are, what's going to happen is the seeking is going to take a big drop. Yeah, and then you're going to see the nakedness of the seeker. Yeah, yeah. The seeker is wholly dependent on the seeking. Yeah, as long as they're seeking, it will keep reinforcing the idea of the seeker. Yes, but when the seeking stops and there's a pause, a pause, that which is not going to be revealed through time will be revealed. Yes, and you will see something, and I hope it's going to be sufficient enough to change to turn the tides of things, to have. You don't have to absolutely lose complete interest. You just need to lose enough interest so that the scale tips. Yes? And now the advantage goes this way instead of that way. So instead of swimming against the current, you're swimming with a current now. It's quite different. Yeah, quite different. Your swimming will look like it's shitty if you're swimming against the current. You'll look like a great swimmer if you're going with the current. Yes? Yeah. So this I feel is the message of non-duality in a nutshell. The greatest mystery being ourselves reality is reality wanting to attain reality. Yeah. So do you want to try to tame that thing not to attain reality or use its stubborn aberration to see you're not that? I would do the latter. Yes. I would. I would watch that which will, no matter how much you chant being ourselves reality, it's going to still keep looking. Yeah. Because it's programmed. Yeah. And its program is what you're truly looking for is definitely not you. You are not enough. You are broken. You are marred. Yes. Yes. So yeah. So here's another day, a Tuesday. I had the great fortune to be able to come to two of these talks. Yeah. Just to sit in the pause, because it does pause a lot of the aspect of time, satsang. It does really. Because usually you want to do something with time. Yeah. You want to be knitting while you're hearing this or something. I don't know. Maybe your feet are typing. I can't see. I only see from the chest up, but I don't know how busy it is down there. But this pause, this manufactured pause, really allows a pause. It's just easier to see when you stop as the physicality. Yeah, yeah. So I probably, in a weird sense, all these, I have gone to the most Paul Hedderman satsangs, thousands of them, thousands more. Yeah. So I probably had was the hardest nut. I, I but I'll tell you, if you're already in the tiger's mouth, it's more you're going to be sliding the rest of the way. It's not an uphill climb. Yeah, and that which resists it is not you. And then you'll slide into a sense of traveling lighter as this action figure. Wouldn't you like that? I mean, seriously. In a world, in an event where it's either going to be heavy or light, wouldn't it be nice to lean towards the light? So that when everything gets heavy, you can bring a little lightness to it instead of uh, making more heaviness out of it. Yeah, yeah. Just look at the head. If you're having a good day, how long does it let it last before it gets suspicious that you don't deserve it or you're a fraud or something else? And yet the same head, if you feel weird, it says it's the beginning of a lifelong depression. Why would you want that to translate or interpret a life? Yeah, it already showed its bias. It's got a huge confirmation bias before. It doesn't see anything objectively. It sees everything as how it pertains to self. That's its view. Yeah, that's why it's called self-centeredness. It's mechanical. It's the programming. You want to argue with a fucking toaster because it makes toast? What's the point? Yeah, why don't you blend it? Realize it can't. It's not a blender, it's a toaster. Yeah. This isn't going. This isn't going anywhere. It's a non-existent thing. When if you want to believe that you as something leaves, what's left behind is the body, isn't it? If the spirit has left, the body sure hasn't gone with it. Because people are they fuck, what am I going to do with this guy's body? Paul seemed to leave, but obviously this body wasn't a part of Paul because the body's still here. Yes. And then there's a whole industry of how to deal with the non-existent thing when existence seemed to have vacated the premises. Yes. You just burn it, bury it, fucking donate it for all the parts, because when that body seems is non-existing, that eye, though perfect, cannot see, can it? You can take that eye. Someone here delivers these things. If you get an eye out of a dead body at a quick enough time, you can transplant it in another person, and that eye will facilitate seeing. Why? Because existence is there. Yes? It's not going to do shit in the non-existent thing, even though its ability to facilitate vision is there, it's not triggered. Yeah. So if there's a leaving, you can definitely know what doesn't leave because all your family will see the body. So Paul left January something, and then let's say January 21st, January 22nd, we have the body we got to get rid of. Paul left. Everyone agrees. What's this? It's a non-existent thing. Yes, from the get-go, from the beginning, during, and after it. It was a non-existent thing. What? Uh, so, yeah. Anyone have any share or question? We could break it down more if you like, but you can see the futility of trying to do or use a process to get out of a previous process.
Um, I have something to say, okay? Can you please
No, I
stop
don't. You
swearing?
have to announce who you are. Oh, you missed your opportunity. Yeah. So, all right, go ahead if anyone wants to share or has any questions.
Hey, Paul, Nick has his hand up.
All right, Nick.
Hey, in that kind of in relation to what you were just saying, there was a point because I had been a seeker through like since I was in my teens, just trying to figure out, why I had anxieties and why I felt the way I did and yada yada. And I seek through spirituality, I seek through finances and career and education and substances and pretty much everything. And the last thing for me to kind of drop was functionally using substances. And I thought because I was had a career and I educated and all these things, a family, married, and everything's going well, that that was okay, right? That I wasn't willing to look at those things. But there was a point where the anxiety got so bad trying to figure out what's wrong with me, right? Where, like you mentioned, the dead body, where I knew at least at the end of the day when I die that that thinking mind would stop, right? And that sort of showed it to me right there. Like, if I'm not going to take that with me, if I don't think I'm going to take that with me when I die, like that's not me. And so I think what you just said there, like, brought that back up for me, because that was that was one of the things that this couple months ago that kind of got me out of this dysfunctional using of substances to feel okay and to lessen the anxiety. But then, the anxiety was never me. It's just a process.
Yes, whatever triggers a sense that it's not you is pretty good, I feel. And I think it's because it will be quickly translated. So it's nice if you hear the message of non-duality, because it will give you an immunity to the translation by the head of what it means. And you'll get a real whack, yeah? Because non-duality is so very efficient. They don't use that many pages. They're just little statements that do a lot of triggering. And I know in my own event that a lot of the misunderstandings were like sewn into the fabric of what I call my existence. Yeah. And then it was sort of like when I heard non-duality, the cat's here, like, and it was a brown sweater. Suddenly, this thread in it was like illuminated with yellow. And I could see that thread and follow it, not at the expense of the other, and see where it landed or where it came from. Yeah. And this is, I think Ramana Maharshi in one statement said, there's basically only two things: get to the origin of the misery or just surrender. Yeah. And say, thy will be done. Yeah. So as an action figure, I feel basically in AA, I feel the surrender idea is the more useful in a sense, yeah, because thinking it's your misery is going to and taking yourself to be the one who has the misery is going to produce giant camouflage from seeing the origin of the misery. Yes, yes. Yes. So if the origin of the misery is doing the searching for the origin of the misery, you're surely going to miss it. So surrender to me is just like a working man's relief. Yeah. Okay. I'm not managerial quality. There you go. Any life run on self-will has proven not to be successful. Do I need any more convincing? No, I'm pretty clear about that. But you may need a way of life to help this transition. Okay, yeah, I got introduced to a way of life. It was like I didn't even decide to ride the wave. I was in the wave and I just went with it for a few years. And by the time I came to my senses, I was established in sobriety, which was cool. Yeah. I was in the habit of being sober, which allowed that miracle to extend of getting struck sober. That's how I view it. So, and then the non-duality, uh, in my feeling, is the last answer in time, because it's before any problem. Yeah. So in out of time, there is no need for an answer. In time, that's the last answer. Yeah. And it just stopped any need for any other answer concerning this topic of what's going on, what, yeah, yeah. It just dumbed me down beautifully, where every day is whatever. Yeah, right now I'm hearing chimes outside that for some reason this programming uh, doesn't allow it to come in. Yeah. The Zoom program takes noise reduces, but doesn't give me a choice of what noise should be reduced. It just reduces noise, I guess. And to me, chimes are a really nice noise. Yeah. And it would be cool if you could hear the same ringings I'm hearing. So, but I'm not adept to be able to do that. So you have to believe me. It's windy here, Novato. So yes, if you have any questions about it, that's not you. The questions will lead to more discussion, which is good. So everything has value, even questions, yeah, because they lead you somewhere else. See, in one level, the solution and the problem are of the same weight, yeah. That which is doesn't see good or bad or anything. Everything here, value gets extracted. Everything, like we say in AA, you'll go down to such a point, yeah. Yet still, wherever you are is going to be used to help other people. Where you had saying, "I am worthless, nothing has any value," that has a great value in the hands of something else that moves here. Yeah, these are the sudden or not so sudden whisperings of something, yeah, yeah, that brings about a disarming. You just freaking, yeah, it's like a guy hasn't even gone in the army, he's wearing army fucking clothes, you know, he's just raring and roaring to go. This is very disarming. It just and then when you're disarmed and you see a movement, that movement is not you. Yeah, it isn't. Now you recognize something that you used to look from. You recognize it. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. All right.
Hey, Paul, you ready for Heather? Heather has her virtual hand up.
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Hold on, let me get ready. Hold on. All right.
I'll get ready too.
I'm ready. Yeah.
I might have bad connection, so hopefully I'll get this.
Oh,
And
it's
I'm
very
on a walk.
good.
So I have a guilty pleasure, and I like to watch Ancient Aliens on Hulu. And it's kind of fun about, aliens and proof and pseudoscience and stuff. And I thought if an alien showed up, I'd have 3 questions for them. The first question I would ask would be, do you know you're being used as transportation? Do you know that there's no you at the center? And the second question would be, are you being used by higher power or lower power? And the third question would be, do you have a sense of humor? And then I realized, gosh golly, I can ask myself that question throughout the day and get a little something from it. So it was fun to turn it on myself as a fun toy/tool. And that's my share.
Wow. Remember, when you see the mothership, yeah, make sure you walk around it. You don't want it to be the mother-in-law ship. Stay clear from there.
No in-laws here. It'll be very difficult to live with ship.
All right. Well, thank you, honey. Yeah. If you ask yourself, who am I? Yeah. Which is, or from whence do you come? That's the essence of self-inquiry. Yeah. So the one who asks, who am I? And the one who's being asked, neither of them are you. Yeah. So usually when you're taking yourself to be an object, you're not taking yourself to be a subject. And when you're taking yourself to be the subject, you're thinking about an object. Yes. So when you're thinking about you, that you is an object, and the thinking about is a sort of subject. Yes. Now, you very rarely see the two in the same room at the same time, but self-inquiry brings them both in at the same time. So at this time, the subject asks the object self, who am I? Yeah. And right there and then, if you don't jump into anything, usually something the object will say me, yes, yeah, but you just sit with it, and in a sense, they both get negated, and then you see the original face, which isn't a face, yeah, yeah, because a lot of times the head is still looking for something to arrive, and you're going to miss what's always here. You are. So in that moment, the one who's asking the question and the one who seems to be answering the question, neither of them are you. That they both get negated by having them in the same moment. Yeah, Amo. And that's non-duality in a way. That's see, non-duality isn't going to work if you go not one and then not two. It's not two. You want to see both. You want to see what's being asked, and you want to see what's asking as not you. Yes? This is what happens. People become self-aware, and part of that awareness is they become aware of the body, the action figure. Yeah? And then that which is now uh, discussing the action figure with other people and this and that, that now that observing is now claimed to be an observer. Yeah. So now there's the you as the subject going over the defects of the object. Yes. Neither of them are us. What happens with some people, I've met them, is that they get very clear that they're not the object, but they're still taking themselves to be the subject. Yeah. And the object seems like a big drag because it takes so long to learn. And as a subject, it's very irritable, restless, and discontent, even though it's done tons of processes, tons of things. Yeah. They still haven't found that ease and comfort because there's an act of being identified as the subject that now
Excuse me.
object. Yes.
I just had a question.
Yeah.
I was listening into this with my grandson, and he couldn't bear but ask if any of you play the game.
Thank you, Michael. Yes. That was a bad trying to talk like another person. I thought I heard him earlier.
I gotta give her the patience. She had her hand up for a while. So.
Oh yeah, don't worry. It's not. There's nothing there, bro. So just keep her muted or whatever. Yeah. So we get clear about the object, but the clarity is clouded by the subject. Yes. Yes. Yeah. And if in that case you don't find the peace, and it's very frustrating because you felt like if the object got listened to the subject's way of looking at things and molded itself with this new idea of it, that it would produce like ease and comfort and peace and joy. And then it's super frustrated when that's not happening. But it doesn't ever realize it's the cause of the dis-ease. Yeah. It was thinking it was you. The same thing. When I was out there using and I got sober, there was a belief that some of my behaviors were produced by the cocaine usage. Yeah. I had that belief. I was going on it as a belief, and I thought it was a true diagnosis. And I was fucking surprised when I acted out the same way without being loaded. Yeah. Because the subject of delusion thought it got clearer about the object of delusion. Yeah. And it said the object's delusion with Coke was the reason why it acted out. And of course, the subject of delusion was as deluded as always. Yeah. And so when I got sober and it acted out that way without any drugs, I was like, oops. Yeah, it was I got caught with my pants down. Yes. Yes. So, and then I started, this is the point. It's non-duality. It's not one. It's not, I'm not that, but I am that which says I'm not that. No, you're not this and you're not that. Yeah. If the observing is christened as the observer, there's going to be an incredible self-centered observing. Yes, a lot. Yeah. Yeah. So if there's a seeming mistake, it will be obvious if you have the eyes to see it. Yeah. It won't be translating into what you even hope for. Yeah. And then when you hit pay dirt, you'll know it. Yeah. Because you'll be traveling lighter with no thought or effort on your part. Yes. It will be obvious you basically had nothing to do with it except to express it. Yeah. And observe it in a sense. The workings of a power. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how it worked with me. One wasn't enough, to get clear about the object as the false subject didn't work. Yeah. So who am I? That's the asker, is not you. What's being asked that may say me is not you. Yeah. Got them in the same room at the same time. They negate each other. And then there you are, your original face. You may not even notice it for a while because we're so used to recognizing things because they're gone and when they show back up. That's not going to work with something that's never gone. Yeah. But there'll be hints. And one of those times you see it, it's going to make a big impact. Yes. Yeah. You didn't become it. You were it. You are it. You will be it. Yeah. It's not like, oh, I overcame something and now I'm that. No, it's always been that. Yeah. Yeah. So, and you get weaned off of the system because it has a lot of failing in it. It has a lot of confirmation bias. It has a lot of programmability to the point where the Course of Miracles said very clearly, the brain interprets to the body of which it is a part. There you go. Do you want to listen to that if you find that out? No fucking way. Do you really? If you found that out about something you're relying on, wouldn't you question that you were relying on? If someone who you had respect for came over to you and said, hey, bro, the brain that you're relying on interprets to the body of which it is a part. So its interpretation is bias. It's already been programmed. Yeah. Do you think you're going to change that direction? Thinking you can change that direction is part of that direction. It's called the quandary of self, can't get out of self. Because your first reaction is you believe you can get out of it, and you can't as it. You cannot get out of it as it. You cannot. Yeah. You cannot leave an imaginary place, and especially as an imaginary person. These stubborn, they're the fabric of the mental logic. Yeah. And there's holes in that fabric, huge holes. Yeah. It doesn't give you the security that you look for. You're wrecked because there's been a reliance on it. Yeah. In AA, we have a thing about, because most people in our society, a lot of people talk about fear and the effects of fear. Yes. There's a lot of AA says a simple question: why are you in so much fear today? And before you answer, it gives you its answer, which is, isn't it because self-reliance has failed you? Yes. What is self-reliance? Reliance on self. Yes. So the head, the brain, whatever you want to call it, is relying on this idea of self. And that is unreliable. And then we have fear, which is a valid emotion, being played by mental anxiety. Yeah. So the fear usually gets triggered by an apparent threat. The head has figured out it can trigger fear without an apparent threat. It can just make shit up. Yeah. And if there's enough faith in it, it will seemingly be so. So you'll be paralyzed, yet there is no apparent threat. Yeah. And what's the propulsion of that is faith. Yeah. You have faith in the thoughts that say what you're going to be like next week, and you have so much faith in it, you act as if you are that now, a loser or whatever. Yeah. And so, as they say in the Course, we see only the past, not us, but the head. Yeah. So we're reliving every day. Resentment is a refeeling. We're reliving every day. Yeah. We actually are seeing only the past. So something happens, it gets referred back to something happening in the past that seemed to have a big impact, and then the head mimics that big impact now. Yeah. So you're refeeling, you're rethinking, you're reacting. It's all programmable. Yeah, on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. You're not that. The most you can be is the audience watching that show. Yeah. Forgetting that it's the audience and taking itself to be one of the characters of the movie. But in fact, it's still the audience. Yeah. It's like the screen in a movie. If you look at the screen profile, do you see anything called a movie laying on it? Yeah. So here you're looking at a screen. Oh, obviously. But if you look at it from the side view and there's a movie playing, do you see anything called the movie? Is it like the superest piece of what's that Italy and they cut the ham so well. It's super. Yeah. No.
Cellophane.
The movie is an appearance on the screen. That's it. If you weigh the screen before the movie plays, during the movie plays, and after the movie plays, it has the same weight. There is no weight given to the screen by the movie playing. Yes? What we're experiencing is the giving of meaning to everything. Yeah? So a whole lot of meaning is being given to the movie because we believe we're a character in it, most of us as the star. Yeah. And that star, now that we are the dreaming of this dream, but we're taking ourselves to be the dreamt, and now everything we're dreaming has the ability to bite us in the ass, literally. Yeah. So can you imagine if you had a movie theater, you may have bought one screen. Yeah. You've been open for 40 years, 800 different movies have played, same screen. Yeah. Never got wet when it was an underwater movie, never got ripped apart when it was an army movie, never cried if it was a romantic comedy movie, nothing, not affected by any of it. Yes? Yeah. Not making any effort or thought to push the movie away. Yeah. Or change the writing or anything like that. Yep. Yeah. All right. Thank you. So, Zen Bitch Slap is a corporation. I have a contract to speak 60 minutes Tuesday between 4:30 and 5:30. I have completed my contract. I am now released for the rest of the day. I hope God's will goes with you. Nice to see you guys. Yeah. We'll have an oasis floating tomorrow night, Wednesday. If you think you're in the ocean of despair, swim to it. If you think you're in the desert of loneliness, fucking hike to it. But we'll be here. Yeah. Anyone, anything?
No, Paul, that's it.
Oh, that's a beautiful. Yeah, got a good. If when my life ends, I like to have Michael Stacy just do the emceeing just then. No, Paul, that's it. That was. Can you say that again, Michael? Let's try it again.
No, Paul, that's it.
Very nice. It'll be like a lullaby for me, coming from Michael Stacy. Thank you. I'm gonna have the no, Paul. That's it. All right, Steve. Nice to see you, my friend. Steve, put in your bid for some of the hair from the haircut. I'll send it to you. You want to get it as fresh as possible. It was just yesterday. Send me a bid. See how I'll see if if I'll accept it or not. John S. Florida. You want some hair, bro? Selling some very hair. Judy Love. She has plenty of hair. She doesn't need it. No.
Thanks, Paul.
You're welcome. Mike G, you could use some in the front porch area. Let's think about it. David Lowe, Stephen Mack. Nice to see you, Stephen. Ernie, yeah. Morrow, John K, John L in Austin. Nice to see you, John. Have I ever met you before?
No, I've just been coming for the last week or so.
Oh, great. Well, nice to meet you, John.
I'm marinating.
You what?
You said that you should just let this marinate like a piece of meat.
Yes, yes.
What I'm doing. Yeah.
Fantastic. Definitely. Yeah. Kathleen, it's a self-cooking stove. You don't have to turn it up or down.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good. Kathleen, nice to see you, honey. Oh, by the way, we're gonna be live in New York City on this trip in April. So that's on Tuesday, April 22nd, near Penn Station or Madison Square Garden. We'll be there Tuesday, and it's up on the website. If anyone's in that area, we'll be in Dover, Jersey Shore, and New York City. Yes. Mia, nice to see you. I don't, oh, you're driving the van? Wow. Oh. Mika from Finland, nice to see you, bro. Thanks for sticking with us all these years. Heather, she's the magician in residence here. Nice to see you, Heather. Nick, pleasure, bro. Stick with us, yeah. Oh, it's Diona Fusion. Fuzon, nice to see you. You're looking cozy. Yeah, yeah. Satsang's better than a pillow, really, because the Bible says the Son of Man can't find a place to rest its head. But in satsang, you can rest the head of the Son of Man. Annette, New York, nice to see you. Muchi Facet. Let's see, Esther. There she is. I can vaguely see you, Esther, so you're in the half light. There you go. Esther just came into manifestation. Wow, very cool. Okay, thank you. Thanks for sticking with us today. It's such a pleasure to have this opportunity. Hang out. Don't let the understanding trip you up. You're not going to get it. That's part of the getting it. Yeah. Part of the getting it is realizing the system's never going to get it. That's part of it.
Your wind chimes were wonderful, Paul.
Oh, did you hear them? I hope so. I'm just hearing them now. Well, great. I hope I translate those wind chimes. That is real the ancient texts, is the vibratory message of the wind chime. Yeah. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Paul.
Michael.
Thanks, Michael.